la voz de LA. It's la cuna galaxiana, come and kick it with us. I bring the bossa nova beats and talk the club that we love. Another year to adjust, and well, Coons we all trust. 6 titles in the cabin, tell the haters shut up. Mirar al horizonte con el cielo morado. Llegamos al estadio como siempre lo hago. Es la nueva temporada, ya cumplí 30 años. Rezándole a San Pequi que no dé al travesaño. Que repartan los balones y no sean tacaños. Que regrese el contraataque y que le hagamos daño. Un saludo para Robert, hermanos ecuatorianos. Que la táctica de Ananda nunca sean en vano. Si se trata de mi gala me levanto temprano. Ver el fur en verano, en el pasto tumbado. Siempre estoy a tu lado, en cualquier resultado. Vamos Galaxy, on top is where I gotta be. Chilling in the canopy, staging like a winery. Goals during rivalries, brew from the refinery. Only want the finer things, we letting you know. Lo que pasa en la galaxia, ready, let's start the show.
Hello, hola, and buenas, and welcome back to another episode of La Cuna Galaxiana, a podcast made with love for all you LA Galaxy fans and all you Cuneros out there, wherever you may be. Thank you so much for coming back and hanging out with us again today. We're going back to the place that the Galaxy has looked their best this season, the Concacaf Champions Cup, and they continue to get a respite from the troubles of the league by pulling off a gutsy 0-0 home draw against Tigres in the first leg of the quarterfinals on Tuesday, April 1st. A result that leaves everything to play for on Tuesday next week, where just one away goal or a tie will be enough to get the Galaxy through to the semifinal round. A tie with goals, that is. We'll talk about what the Galaxy had to do to earn this draw, why Tigres was lucky on the day, John McCarthy bouncing back, the defense pulling off a shutout, and what this tie says about the Galaxy going forward. Plus, more Galaxy players are set to return after an injury layoff. And one of your own Galaxy fans needs a little bit of help, and you guys know what to do. All that and more coming up on La Cuna Galaxiana tonight. And as always, we want to say thank you to y'all for being here with us. As always, I'm one of your co-hosts, Rob Halon. You can find my written work at Extra Time Talk and the Sporting Tribune, and online at El Escudero de LA. And surprise, surprise, we know we teased an episode where we were saying Professor Alex Ruiz was going to be here with us, but he actually got tapped up by Nick Fury to be part of the Avengers. So he couldn't be here with us tonight. So he's probably off fighting Thanos or Doctor Doom or something like that. So my co-host with the most was like, you know what? I can be there. And so surprise, Psych Sons. He's here back with us, my co-host. Still always right next to me when we do this damn thing. And I'm like, Kirana, el gitano perdido y el yerno guapo. Good morning. Is that what time it is over there?
Yeah, as you guys can see, I got sunlight behind me again. I'm in a completely different time zone than you guys. But well, first of all, Rob, it's just nice to be talking with chat again, right? Chat, we missed you guys last time because we had to do pre-recorded. Again, this is a funky week. Rob and I have just a lot of stuff in our personal lives going on right now. But of course, we want to be here with you guys. We want to give you the best LA Galaxy content. We want to let you know what's up to date with this damn team that we all love. And sometimes it's a toxic relationship, but it is what it is. We got to talk about this team. And you know what? Today, I'm all right talking about this team. It's a good relief for me, I guess, with whatever's going on. I'm on a workcation. Is that a word these days? Like half work, half vacation, whatever that means.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah. So, but anyways, no, it's did catch the game. We'll talk about it a lot today. And again, as Rob said at the top of the show, it's a little bit of it's a tournament for a reprieve for the LA Galaxy, who have, I would say, struggling mightily is an understatement in the league, right? But I thought, you know what, for that performance, I thought I felt positive coming out of that performance, and I think that's going to be my one-word match reaction, Rob. It was a positive performance. I think it's something for this team to build off of. I think it's something for this team to look forward to, especially in this competition in particular. We'll talk about the ins and outs and the details and the intricacies of why and why not. But yeah, I think it was positive. I think for especially as a bounce back to what happened in the league. I think we needed to stabilize ourselves, and I think we did that. Would have wanted the goal to go ahead, but we'll take it, and we'll take our chances next week in Mexico.
I am going to borrow from mi tío Gregorio Vanni. Y voy a decir, so limpio, clean, no mistakes were made, and that's wonderful to see. I know Greg was very, very happy with it. He, like I said, borrowing from him, he said it was clean, and that's what you want to see. So good on the entire team for working for each other and getting after it and getting the result. So Ananda, before we go any further, I know you have your customary housekeeping where you ask fools to go ahead and stalk you, and please, really, guys, stalk this man. Do, like, send him memes and stuff like that. Like, be obnoxious. Get him.
I got private investigators on X trying to figure out my flight path, and like they do transfers and stuff, trying to figure out this flight path. And where in the world is Carmen Sandiego, or in this case, is where in the world is
throwback?
Yeah, love it, man. Anyways, we are really dating ourselves. So let's move on before we date ourselves even further. Oh man, like now you're giving me like, what's that band? That was on the game show for Carmen Sandiego, and they did like acapella. Anyways, that's way throwback.
Rockapella.
If that's right. Not Rockefeller, Rockapella. Exactly.
The homie Raji, frequent visitor in chat, querying. I know this is not anything Galaxy related, but rest in peace, Val Kilmer. What's y'all's favorite Val Kilmer flick? Shout out Raul G. Throw that in there. Valid. I mean, you gotta honor the dead.
And
Batman forever, homie.
I see a couple of Spain flags out there, and you guys are close because I'm gonna be in Spain in about a couple of weeks, to be honest with you. But I am not. But it's very close, and that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
There is a link between Spain and the country where
there actually is, and we will leave it at that. So before we get into the shout outs and announcements, guys, of course, you can always follow me, block me, stalk me, or stalk where my flights are heading to next at Ananda Galaxiana, and of course you can find Rob at El Escudo de LA. You can find him on Extra Time Talk and all that good stuff. And both of our our tags are right there on the screen if you guys are watching this on YouTube. But of course, as I always say, we welcome all those audio listeners out there, because we know there are a few percentage of you that like to listen on Spotify as you're listening to JP's new Fire album, as well as Apple Music and all that good stuff. And we'll talk about that later as well. And of course, guys,
can I say something real quick about these audio listeners? Now, we for damn sure appreciate you guys listening to the show, but I know it's a little bit harder to go ahead and get from Spotify to YouTube to go ahead and subscribe. But that's what I'm gonna, humbly ask you guys to do. Get like 3 or 4 more clicks in. Go ahead and subscribe to the show. Ananda one time, or many times, has told us the troubling fact that 1/3 of you guys haven't subscribed to the show before. So go ahead and hook a brother up. Anyway, Ananda, that's my supplication to the folk out there. Go ahead.
Yeah. By the way, so Morocco, I can neither confirm nor deny. Portugal, I can neither confirm or deny. And the Philippines, I can also neither confirm or deny. So there you go. Those are the clues I'm going to give you guys. Anyway, so as Rob said, go ahead and subscribe. And we have a VP of likes out there as well, Rob. That would be Mr. Raul G's. Smash the like, as he says there. So go ahead and smash the likes, guys. That would really help us out. And of course, papá, como siempre, antes de olvidarme, buenos días, tardes o noches, and bienvenidos a otro capítulo de La Cuna Galaxiana. And yeah, bro. See, this is why I love chat. This is what I'm saying. I miss chat. The chat's vibing right now.
Yeah.
Vámonos.
I love Ant's comment. Did anyone in Spain, or is the country Spain? That could be anybody.
Fair. Yeah, that's true. That's so they invaded a lot of territories, Papa. Don't even get started on a historical tangent with Rob, because we are going to create another podcast just from that conversation alone. So there you
go. Man. We could definitely do that, or have a Lacuna After Dark episode strictly dedicated to the the connection between politics and soccer, something like that. But anyway, before we get too much further off the rails, let's go ahead and get into these announcements. But right now is a good time to remind you guys that we do have these super chats available. Go ahead and be number 6 to go ahead and signify that 6th Galaxy MLS Cup achieved just 1 year ago, just a couple of months ago, and now it seems just 4. God, how the time flies. But anyway, guys, we want to go ahead and take this serious, make this on the serious tip really quick. We did say at the top of the show that one of your own needs help. One of friends of the show, frequent guest, one of my colleagues in the press box, and just a damn good guy, Mike Gray, aka Miggy Gris. The homie's going through it right now. If you know him, go ahead and reach out, show him some love. Also, go ahead and show him some love. He has a GoFundMe going right now. He needs help moving right now and taking care of some car things. So that GoFundMe link will be pinned in the chat as well. Go ahead and find that in the description of this video if you're one of those audio listeners. Really just go ahead and this is the cat that came up with the moniker, the El Tráfico, right? I mean, there wouldn't be an El Tráfico if not for Mike Gray. So he's been in and around this Galaxy community covering this team for almost a damn decade, man. Just a long time, man. And so yeah, I want you guys to go ahead and take that time out and even if you can't donate financially, show them some love. Go ahead and reach out, send them a kind word. That goes a long way. And Miggy Gris, that we here on this podcast, we love you, man. And get that foot taken care of, bro. Like, come on, dog. Anyway,
Mike, love you, Papa.
Yeah, man, for sure. Well, we will run into you soon, and hopefully, you hit that goal. But like I said, you guys, you always have a home here, and since we're on this tip of community building, and helping out this community, Leslie also has a raffle for an OG Galaxy kit right here. Somebody, please school me on what year this is. I know it's one of the earliers. I think it's 98, but I can't be sure. 98 or 99. But anyway, she's having this raffle for this OG Galaxy kit for medical expenses. The raffle will end on Sunday the 6th at 7 p.m. $10 a ticket, and you can get multiple entries. The Venmo is there on the picture. It's LLESSZ 29918. That's again LLESSZ 29918. And the jersey's fire. Of course, these Nike made Galaxy kits were class back in the day. So
really quick, just on the last one, I forgot to mention, guys, the link for Mike's GoFundMe is in the description of the show, the YouTube. And if I can find it, I will also pin it in the chat as well.
Yeah. So, and if you honestly, and if you can't find it, reach out to Mike Gray and say like, hey, send me the link, and get it that way as well. You know where to find Mike Gray. He's out there. He's active. So anyway, happy birthday to Roman Alessandrini. Or if you were like a lot of fanboys and fangirls back in the day, he was Alessandrini, the pacing winger, the pacey Frenchman. Really started the French Revolution of the Galaxy. He was one of the first Frenchmen that came in, and then a bunch started arriving. But anyway, 63 matches played across all competitions for Los Angeles, 24 goals, 24 assists. He's one of those ones, Ananda, that I always kind of like wished would have had like a good team around them. I know he played like a couple matches with Zlatan, but not a lot. I just wish they would have been able to put a team around him and Zlatan that could have competed. I really liked Alessandrini. I missed him. Wish he would have came back. Happy birthday to him. Hopefully it was a beautiful day, surrounded by friends and family. And then happy birthday to this man. I know he doesn't really like the chef, but I mean, the proof is in the pudding. He is the architect of the 2024 MLS Cup champions, him and his staff. A humble man that would be very, very quick to say that, it was a team effort, a collection of people that went and did this. But really, I've spoken to this guy. We've had him here on the show, and he's legitimately brilliant. Happy birthday to Will Kuntz. And I hope you were surrounded by your friends and family and had a lovely day. And man, just like I said, Ananda, this is where lucky to be able to talk to this guy, because I've mentioned a couple times I covered this team for a couple years and I never really spoke to Chris Klein, but Will Kuntz is ever present. So
yeah, I can't wait to have him on again, Rob. It's we're trying, guys, so we'll let you know.
Standing invitation, Will.
Hit those notification bells. There you go.
Standing invitation, Will. Even if you just want to come by and talk about some Final Four or some Lakers or some baseball, we know you love your Yankees. So anyway, some more Galaxy announcements here. This one we've told you about a couple times, and now it's finally here. Tomorrow, Joseph Paintsil drops Emergency, his EP that he's been teasing for a little bit. Number 1 on this track list is one of your favorites, Blessings. So go ahead and pick this one up. It's 7 songs on this one. I've really been digging Mona Lisa at the moment. And of course,
that track is absolute fire, man. That's my favorite track so far. I haven't heard the whole thing, obviously, but
JP going crazy on that one, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know that this one is going to be on repeat. So go ahead and get those streams up. Help your favorite Ghanaian winger out. And yeah, man. So it drops tomorrow, unless you're listening to this tomorrow, which means it drops today. So it drops on Friday. So anyway, pick that one up. Go ahead and stream that one up. And getting to some quick news. I know we were actually just talking about this the other day, Ananda, about how there was going to be like the end of the world. There was going to be roaches walking around, no humans, but Peter Vermes was still going to be on the sideline of SKC. Well, I guess we jinxed it. I mean, when
we were right. We can tap ourselves. We can pat ourselves on the back for this one. SKC finally graduated to MLS 4.0. That was the best comment I saw for sure.
Yeah, I think this one is just graduating to MLS 3.0, man.
Yeah.
There was a couple of times where they could have dispensed with the services, but honestly, there's and reading about Vermes and what he's done at SKC, notwithstanding the current season, there's kind of a reason why they kept him around. There's got to be a lot of gratitude and respect there. But if you guys don't know what we're talking about, Peter Vermes, head coach at SKC, is finally relieved of his duties. The social media post said that they mutually agreed to part ways, which is a very nice way of saying we had to fire
corporate
him.
Speak.
Corporate speak. But he was very, very revered in the league because he did a lot for SKC, and he was one of the longest tenured coaches in the league. Again, there was some debate on whether he should have kept his job a couple of times over the past couple of years, but neither here nor there. That he was one of the longest tenured coaches, one of the longest serving managers in global soccer. He became first their sporting director in 2006, and then he assumed head coaching duties in 2009, and then he went. He built that team. He made them respectable, first off, because before him, they weren't really that respectable. And he turned them into a perennial powerhouse for a little while. And so in addition to winning the MLS Cup in 2013 and US Open Cup titles in 2012, 2015, 2017, over that stretch, he guided the club to 11 playoff appearances, including 8 straight. So that's a good period of stability where they were contenders at the very least, or at least in the conversation, and on to 4 first place finishes in the regular season, and remains the only person to win MLS Cup as a player and a coach for the same team. I mean, Greg Vanny played for the Galaxy, but he didn't win one.
Right.
And he won one as a coach. He got to a final, but it didn't win it. So that's why Vermes is the only person to have done it. his 3 Open Cup championships are the most among active MLS coaches. So he's in the record books a couple times, but this year, I mean, despite everything he's done for SKC's stuck on 1 point from 5 losses and 1 draw, and it's easy to see why patience finally ran out with him, despite everything he's done. Kerry Zavignin has been appointed as SKC's interim head coach, effective immediately. Good luck to him. There are some good players there in SKC. Of course, our dearly departed Dayon is there, so hopefully he gets a coach that gets the best out of him and treats him well.
Honestly, man, I wouldn't be surprised if Vermes gets picked up by another team. I think he's a good coach. He's shown his track record, right? I think I would love to see what Vermes could do with a team like a higher quality team, like in terms of quality, right, and talent. And the other thing too, man, is you hear this all the time with coaching, which is sometimes the players just want a different voice. And that's all it is, man. Like, he's been there for so long. If you listen to the same voice over and over and over again, it gets repetitive and it goes into the mentality. It gets into the minds of players. So I think it was the right time, and these players just need a different voice. But that's not to say that Vermes is a bad coach. I think he's going to find a landing spot elsewhere, to be honest with you. He's a really good coaching candidate, in my opinion.
And I love his character as well. Like, man, the F-bombs I've heard that man say are classic. Big Arquitekto, if I see Joseph Painso, I have the opportunity to, I'll for sure holler you out, man, and be like, hey, get on
Arquitekto. For everyone in listening to audio, the comment was from Arquitekto Verbal. Shout out, boy. Rob Tell Painsil, Arquitekto needs a collab. So great minds think alike, Arquitekto, because maybe next season 4, Arquitekto Paintsill intro drop. Ooh, watch out for it, guys.
That'd be too fire. Arquitekto also does say, guys, I have 6 vinyls left if anyone needs one. Guys, if you enjoyed that opening track, then you're listening to that Arquitekto fire. So go ahead and hit him up for one of these vinyls as well. Getting back getting back to the pitch here, VCFC crashes out of the Open Cup. The U.S. Open Cup wasn't kind of them last year either. This year they lose 3-0 at the Willie Roll. Jason Buckner kind of precipitated that one because he picks up a red card due to yellow card accumulation in the 36th minute. And then Locomotive had a man sent off in the 64th, but by that point, the damage had been done. It was already 2-0, and VCFC cannot get back into it, and they crash out of the U.S. Open Cup. I was really, really hoping. Oh man, I'm sad that it didn't come to pass. I was really hoping that VCFC would get to play AV Alta, who just eliminated LAFC 2 in the U.S. Open Cup. 2-1 after extra time in dramatic fashion. I mean, the Lancaster Municipal Stadium was going crazy. Back in the day, they used to call it the Hangar Ananda because that's where the Jethawks played. But I don't know, if it has a name yet. But it was the scene of dramatic, play at the end right there. So U.S. Open Cup recap there for you guys real quick. And then also to finish off here, March's Player of the Month, as called by the LA Galaxy and voted on by you, the public, is Cristian Ramirez. Now, Ananda, should we get into the champions?
Concacaf edition.
Yeah, exactly. Concacaf edition. All right, cool. So Tuesday, it was the first time that LA and Tigres had met in an official competition, an official match. They had played in the World Series of Soccer a couple years back. Tigres did win 3-0, but that was just an exhibition. This was the first time it meant something for realsies, and the Galaxy continued a positive CONCACAF Champions Cup campaign by earning a gutsy, hard-fought, and physical 0-0 draw against Tigres in the quarterfinal first leg at the Digs. I don't remember what the announced attendance was. I think it was around 13, but I'll go ahead and have to fact check that. Although Tigres had more possession and chances, The Galaxy took and withstood everything the Mexican team threw at them. You could say that the Galaxy tamed some Tigres out there on the pitch. They were outshot 17-8, but they only gave up one shot on target in the second half and only one big chance. Isaiah Parente was his usual tidy self and made his 5th start in all competitions in the year, and he finished the match with a team high 2 chances created, and that's pretty impressive. Not only because he was on the opposite side of 2 fine players in Aquino and Brunetta, but he was, tasked with kind of shutting those players down, and he still had time to make a couple of chances. So good on Isaiah Parente. But the real story of this one was John McCarthy, who was the hero with 4 saves, 2 that were point blank and had everyone's heart in their throat. And McCarthy and the Galaxy defense play a complete game to earn the shutout, their first in 9 matches. When I let John McCarthy know that fact, he just started laughing. He's like, that's a hell of a long time. I agree. And so that's why it was gratifying to see this team get that clean sheet. Zanka Jorgensen came in to spell the injured Maya Yoshida, who left the game in the 31st minute with a hamstring injury. And the Dane did not disappoint, marshaling the defense well in his extended cameo alongside Emilio Garces, and it was the first time those two had ever played together, and the understanding looked pretty good for the first time out between both of them. As I mentioned at the top of the show, Greg Vanney called this performance clean. I would agree. It was clean and complete and gives the Galaxy a chance for anything to happen next week in the second leg in Monterrey, Nuevo León. Tigres, though, are not going to make it easy. They are unbeaten in 17 straight matches against MLS competition. That's 9 wins and 8 draws, and no other team in the modern era of the Champions Cup has gone longer than 8 matches without a defeat. That's since 2008. And of course, I've already mentioned the next week match, which kicks off at 6 p.m. at Estadio Universitario on Tuesday, April 8th. So go ahead and make sure that you are somewhere with your loved ones watching this match at 6 p.m. next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Van a necesitar sus buenas vibras.
Rob, just to confirm the attendance, it was announced as 13,434. So not bad for midweek game. I'd imagine a lot of those are Tigres fans as well, but not bad.
There was a big contingent of Tigres fans in the corner.
Yeah.
And they were making themselves heard. There was actually one moment where they got pretty loud, and shout out to V Block, who got up in voice and drowned them out pretty quick. So shout out to them. So Football Mania says AV Alta versus Orange County. Yes, he is correct. That is the next round match of the U.S. Open Cup. So if you are an Orange County fan, this is going to be a big match because AV Alta has all that new team momentum behind them. And so that's one to watch as well. But let's go ahead and look at the starting lineup. Ananda, what did you think when it was announced? A lot of maybe not surprises, but a lot of things of note.
I'll let you comment on the players specifically. I'm only going to comment on the formation. So on here it shows as a 4-3-3, but the way I saw it, we actually played a 4-4-2 with Ramirez and Paintel leading the line, Gabriel Peck sort of sliding on the right side, Diego on the left, and we played those little triangles, right? JP linked really well, I thought, with Gabby Peck, Yamane, Parente as the base of that little triangle if he pushes himself up or sits in the double pivot. Again, that's very flexible tactically with Greg Vanney. Same thing on the left as well. I saw a bunch of little interchanges throughout the game. So that I thought that was interesting. I think the tactical flexibility probably has a lot to do with the setup and the way Tigres plays, right? So it gave Greg a more balanced setup. It's interesting, Rob, because we actually play a 4-4-2 out of possession. That's the way Greg likes to play on defense, and it's a very balanced setup. And I think just because of maybe it's the opposition, maybe it's the, what's the word I'm looking for? The sort of character and how Champions League or domestic competitions, or international competitions, cup competitions are played. Maybe that's why he went for that formation. And I thought it worked really well. Again, you've got a nice bounce. You got a guy that's going to go past the ball with the speed behind the line of JP, and a guy that can hold the ball up with his back to goal, and of course sprint in the box when he needs to get in those scoring positions. So I thought it was a good little adjustment by Greg. What'd you think of the players, man?
Well, let's take it by position. One will comment on this a little bit later, but John McCarthy started between the sticks with an opportunity to put his recent blunder behind him, and again, we'll get into that in a moment. John Nelson got the start over Julian Aude. That was one that kind of was not a surprise to me, but maybe it was more of like I guess Julian needed a rest, right? Because John Nelson had probably missed out of the last 2 or 3 to Aude starting over him. So anyway, that wasn't a surprise, but more just like me realizing really that Julian Aude had a lot of minutes on his legs, but Nelson did fine for me. Of course, you have that center back pairing, Garces coming back into the center back spot. Yoshida, of course, we mentioned, did not last long, 31 minutes, and Zonka then comes in to finish out that game. Yamane was huge as usual in his position there in that right back spot, but drifting into the middle as usual. And then something we've been talking about for a while is that if Joseph, excuse me, if Joseph Painter was going to be available, he was going to be on the wing, allowing Diego Fagundes to go ahead and take up that central role, and we saw that come to pass. Peck and Painter on the wings, with Christian Ramirez leading the line, and Painter and Fagundes just behind them, and Parente and Cerrillo doing a lot of that dirty work. But that's not to say that Diego Fagundes and Christian Ramirez didn't do a lot of defensive work as well. They definitely did. Actually, the entire team did really, really well on defense. But anyway, that's just I guess the big one was Nelson, and it was just gratifying now to see that what we had been calling for, Diego in that 10 and that central role finally came to pass. I did ask him how he felt in the post-match presser in the mix zone, and he said that it was a difficult match for him because there was a lot of defensive responsibilities for him to take care of. So in that number 10 role, in that creative role, if you're also tasked with taking care of a lot of defensive responsibilities, then obviously some of your efforts going to go towards that and not towards creation. But there were some moments of promise. Of course, remember Ananda last year, there was that 5-game stretch, I believe, where Ricky Puig was out and Diego played that 10 role, and he showed really, really well. So I think now it's going to start to get there.
But that's why I like the tactical setup by Greg, because we were playing at home. You can lose a tie in the first leg, Rob. So you don't want to give that up right away. And I thought that's why I applaud Greg for the tactical setup. I applaud the fact that the wingers, their work rate was uncanny in this match, right? So, and again, I said this coming into this game, because I was listening to Greg's previous comments, and I knew that he didn't want to give up that away goal. That's huge in two-legged ties, right? Especially in a competition like this. So yeah, like I said, that's why I applaud the tactical setup. And maybe Diego didn't find his preferred position in the middle, but I think for the longevity or the sort of the our like how we can win this two-legged tie, I thought that was the right move.
A ver, al grano, pues, güey. There was no goals. The Galaxy didn't win. Still waiting for they got that win over Herediano at home in the Champions, but they're still waiting for that first league win. But they didn't win, but they have a lot to be proud of in this match. So despite no goals and not getting the win, do you think this is probably their best performance of the season?
I honestly think the 4-1 was probably a better performance. That reminded me of last year's Galaxy, that explosive performance, right? We saw that all of last year, scoring 3, 4, 5 in bunches. And I think that's probably the best version of this team, Rob. I will say in the league, right? In this competition, I think what you see, I would say this was the most complete performance probably I know, maybe not. I think Herediano was still a more complete performance, but I think in this competition, playing like this or the ability to play like this, I think is really important. I think this is a skill that we haven't seen yet from this LA Galaxy team. So it's nice that this competition
Mental
is building
toughness, finally.
is building that grit, that sort of work rate that you need, and maybe that can translate to the league. I see a lot of parallels too with Seattle, sort of tried and tested in cup competitions as well, and I think that's added to their experience in terms of these types of ties and cagey affairs and physical matches, right? That you might see from certain opposition MLS. So most complete performance, I would say still the 4-1, but this is up there. And if we would have scored a couple goals, yes, this would have been the most complete performance.
Oh man, if there had been a goal or two, it would have been pandemonium by those 13,000. Couple match stats here from this one. Mino Garces completed all 45 passes he attempted for the Galaxy in this match, and he becomes the fourth player to attempt 40 or more passes in a match and achieve it 100% pass accuracy rating in the Champions Cup since 2016-2017. First MLS player to do it, actually, since 2021. Gabriel Peck made his 50th career start. A 50th career appearance across all competitions for the Galaxy, but Edwin Cerrillo made his 50th career start against Tigres in all competitions. Joseph
Starting to look like
his
old self. Starting to look like his old self again.
Yeah. Really quick anecdote here, Ananda. I know we haven't really spoken about the finer points of this match yet, but of course, we have spoken about the 0-0. I posited to Edwin Cerrillo. For me, it kind of looked like Tigres shut down a little bit in the second half, or maybe like the last 15 or 20 minutes, decided, hey, no one has made that breakthrough, let's go ahead and be safe and not get scored on. And so I asked Edwin Cerrillo, if that's what he saw as well, and if he maybe felt slighted by the fact that because my line of thinking on this one was like, well, Tigres doesn't want to get scored on because they will probably be confident they can go home and get the win there, right? Which for me in my mind, I was like, okay, well, like, is that lightweight disrespectful to this Galaxy team? First, and then second, like, don't they realize that just this one away goal can change this the face of this tie, right? So I posited this to Edwin Cerrillo, and I think he was lightweight offended because what he told me was that he was he was extremely proud of the defensive work that they did, which in his mind limited Tigres to in creating and being able to carry out their offensive game plan. So for him, it wasn't so much that Tigres kind of retreated and didn't expose themselves, but it was that the Galaxy did such a good job in their game plan and defensively and with their work rate that Tigres really couldn't get anything going. So I don't know. Just a quick anecdote. I don't know what your feelings are on that one, but it was just funny because, like I said, he legitimately looked like lightweight offended that I made it like, oh, Tigres retreated versus you guys did a good job and shutting them down. But
I think if we're tactically disciplined as we showed in this match in Tigres, the foundation is good, the floor is good to get a win, right? All we need is hit on the break. This is where the speed of JP comes into effect, major. And yeah, like I said, if the tactical discipline is there, we've got every shot to win in Tigres in Mexico, right? Like that, but that's the thing. Like, the Galaxy hasn't shown me a capacity to do that. I think this game provided a good foundation for that, and that's sort of alluding to my point. So if we do that without any mistakes, right? That's a big one. No mistakes. Let's not shoot ourselves in the foot. We got a shot, man. We got a huge shot.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that point here in another moment. Just finish off here with these match stats. Joseph Painsil made 45 minutes in this match, so they're slowly getting him back to 90. He played 30 minutes in the first match, 45 minutes in this one. If my maths is correct, Ananda, then he'll play 60 minutes in the next one, and so on and so forth. You guys can do the increments here. Joseph Painsil, Mickey Yamane, and Mateus Nascimento each made their Concacaf Champions Cup debuts in this match against Tigres, and now the Galaxy are unbeaten in 8 straight matches in this competition, 6 wins and 2 draws, keeping clean sheets in 6 of the 8 in this competition, which is, if you're looking at just this competition, the Galaxy have done really well. I mean, clean sheets in 6 of the last 8 is huge. One of them was that one of the goals that they gave up was that golazo to Elias Aguilar and the away match in Herediano, which is extremely low XG. And I don't know what the other one is, but anyway, like this is a pretty good record, right? Independently of
Right.
what they're doing in the league. So in 47 CONCACAF Champions Cup matches, they have a 22, 13, and 12 record and hold a 16, 3, and 6 record and 25 all-time cup matches played at home. They have previously qualified for the semifinal round of the Champions Cup 3 times. So should they get that result against Tigres next week, it'll be the 4th time they qualify for the semifinal round, where either Club America or Cruz Azul will be waiting for them, and that one ended in a 0-0 draw as well, if you guys were wondering. And in 9 matches now that they've played in 2025, to begin this year, they hold a 1-5-3 record. That's 9 goals for, 14 goals against. And it's still not good enough, but it's starting to improve, and slowly but surely. I know we keep on saying that, but you're seeing glimpses. Anyway, and I know you have some match stats as well from this one. What can you tell us about what you saw?
Yeah, I thought the stats were painting a pretty interesting story. You mentioned about the shots, man. They outshot us 17-7. I think probably a lot of those. Tigres are a good team. I think we should expect that. They outpossessed us, man, 54% to 46%. Again, I think this, though, given the result that we know, the 0-0, I think that's a testament again to the Galaxy's tactical game plan, their defensive responsibilities, and their just like their commitment to it, right? That's something I haven't seen from this team all year. So this is something that's why I said the word positive. My one word match reaction is positive. This is attributing to that positive attitude towards this team and the fact that we were outpossessed, but again, we got out of there. In the league, it would have been a point, but we got a good result out of this match, right? Not the best, but not the worst either. They had 4 shots on target, Rob, versus our 2. FOTMOB had both of us having a one big chance, but I will say Tigres probably had the better of the big chances. You remember those point blank saves by John McCarthy, one in the first half, as well as in the second half. You remember that loose ball in the box off the pass, and J-Mac, big stop on Oziel Herrera. So that was huge at that moment of the match. I would say the Galaxy, that I would say it was Nasi second half. That was a little bit of a half chance though. He was on the full turn. Couldn't get his foot over it, but man, he was right there. He was in the 6-yard box. So that was a tough one. Again, on another day, that could have gone in. Let's see, what else can we pick out? Again, Tigres were outpassing us as well, right? This is not typical for the Galaxy. 5-13 to our LA Galaxy's 440. But again, we were okay conceding a little bit of that possession because we did get the chances on the other end, and most importantly, we kept the clean sheet. And yeah, man, I think again the stats for me say that it's not a typical LA Galaxy performance that we'd probably see in the league in that ball dominant Vanny style, but this is a different competition. We're playing against different opposition abroad, right? And as I said, coming to this game, this is going to be a very different game, tight, cagey, physical. Can the Galaxy respond to that challenge? And I think they did. I think they did all right.
You know what? I need you to stop whatever you're doing right now and realize that Comets 96, our brother Matthew, is in the chat right now. What up? Anyway, I just got really excited when I saw that Primo was hanging out with us. But man, can I be petty? Can I be spicy here real quick? Can I go ahead and complain? Yo, man, this was one of the most CONCACAF games ever. I mean, Tigres was doing the gamesmanship to the shithousery like elite. I mean, they are good at it, man.
Next level.
Yeah. I was laughing to myself about like every little thing they were complaining about. Linus, every time he came and was over by Greg, he would just like be talking to Greg and just like I was laughing about how stereotypical Tigres was being. Like, Mexican teams have this reputation of, being, what do they call it? The dark arts. I've never really liked that term, but it's definitely like designed to get under your skin. I remember, that in particular before Maya went off in that corner kick, where corner kicks are such that everybody is jostling for position and stuff like that, and one of the Tigres players went down, like he got shot. It was pretty funny. Of course, there was that moment where Nahuel Gomez went out to like midfield and was just reproaching the referee for one of his decisions. So, besides the gamesmanship and just like just straight up like las chingaderas que estaban haciendo, porque no es juego, es like just little. That's not playing, that's not playing soccer. That's not trying to play your soccer. I mean, it's very, very independent. It's part of the game, I guess, but it's very independent of your actual game and tactical vision and stuff like that. But anyway, apart from all that, they were not only engaging in that gamesmanship, but there was a very physical, cagey match, man, where several Galaxy players were hacked down. There was fouls all around. I'm not saying that Maya's had anything to do with that. His didn't. His was a little bit more off the ball, but Angulo definitely should have gotten a second yellow for that foul on Gabriel Peck in the second half. He's a very, very lucky lad to not get sent off. But then when I looked at the actual fouls on this match, I saw that the Galaxy had 10 fouls against them called, and Tigres only had 9.
Crazy, right?
I think that this referee went to the Freeman School of Refereeing, because it's 2 just terrible referees in a row that the Galaxy have had. This referee was just allowing shenanigans to go on, and really, I don't think was really up for it. Just not taking control of this match too well. I mean, there was at any point he could have given several Tigres players yellows for coming up to him, but he did not. And so yeah. Anyway, in relation to Maya's injury, which I mentioned was off the ball, Greg said he started to feel like he was getting it tight, and so we sat him down. He sat down as a pro instead of trying to push it, and it's nothing significant from our understanding. It's hamstring related, but it's nothing significant. We'll just kind of assess and see what it looks like for next weekend as we move into the next phase. But I think he escaped anything bad. So for those that were worried about Maya, it looks like it's not that serious, even though we saw him in the mix zone afterwards and he was noticeably limping. It felt really, really bad because this guy, as I've mentioned a couple of times, just a gentleman. And it's never good to see people that you like in pain. And so he was walking by, obviously in pain and discomfort. Get well soon, Maya, because this team needs you. Somebody else that we talked to in the mix zone and Onda was John McCarthy, who bounced back from his Orlando City blunder with a very assured performance. Like you mentioned, those 2 point-blank saves, 4 saves on the night, and more importantly, the shutout for the goalkeeper and this Galaxy defense. What did you think of this performance?
Yeah, it was a great bounce back performance, and it was funny just listening to Greg's comments, and that's why we put it on the screen there. The non-existent goalkeeper crisis, right? And I thought Greg's comments were really interesting, and he brought up that word, and he went right to it. I don't know, I can't remember, Rob, who asked that question. I'm not sure if it was you or one of your colleagues, but
which one?
I mean, the when he talked about John McCarthy, maybe it wasn't you, maybe it was Josh. I can't remember who asked that question,
I don't
but
remember.
Irrespective of that, I thought it was a good bounce back performance, and maybe Greg listens to our show, Rob. Maybe we were again. I brought up that thing last time, and maybe I was being a little too harsh on him. But it was a queer. It wasn't a statement. It was more of a query. It was more of a thought. but he says there's no goal. He says the goalkeeper crisis is non-existent. And honestly, like it's not a crisis. I agree with him. Crisis is the wrong word. Controversy, okay, you're pushing it. I would say battle is probably the right word, because it's still not totally set in stone.
It's not defined.
I think
no, not at all.
I think he's right though. I think there is no crisis because you have two good goalkeepers. Just they got to stop making damn mistakes. But at least McCarthy made up for himself this game for sure.
Well, I mean, and he was transparent about it. He said, neither one of these guys has stood up and said, I'm the guy yet. So he's publicly entreating these guys to go ahead and take ownership of that position. And that's why when you queried this to me, I said, no, he has every right to decide, I'm going to go with whichever keeper I feel like is more appropriate for this team on the day. I didn't really think that there was a goalkeeper crisis per se. Like you said, that's a very heavy word. But there was definitely a something that Greg has to watch between these goalkeepers, like who in español, papá, quién está más fino, no? Quién está ahí más listo. And he said that who's more ready to help the team. So neither Greg believes that there's a goalkeeping controversy. He said there's no question about what John McCarthy can do. All the nonsense about all this crisis crap is nonsense. We have two very good goalkeepers, and they're both very capable. I mean, maybe he does listen to the show, and he was just like, "You guys are whack." But what did that?
Shout out Gregorio, in case you're listening.
Well, if you are listening, Greg, thank you so much.
Sir.
We are lucky enough to know that a couple of these Galaxy players give us a couple of minutes of their time, and shout out to you guys. We honestly wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for you guys. So anyway, but we did speak to John McCarthy about this issue in the post-match presser, and he was very candid about all this. He, full of confidence, said, I try to play my game, and excuse me for my expletive before I get to it. This is a quote and not something that I would ever say in my day-to-day life. But anyway, he says, I try to play my game as much as possible. I believe in myself. I believe in the way that I play. I've been critiqued. I've been doubted my whole fucking life. So it doesn't matter to me, and I'll do whatever it takes to win. And if you want to doubt me, doubt me. Yeah, come at me.
Strong words.
Yeah, I mean, I like the confidence.
Same.
It's he knows and acknowledged that Orlando City was in the finest moment. He said that you take something like that, you and you try to learn from it, and hopefully it doesn't happen again. Yeah, I know, maybe language, I know, but it was part of the part of the quote.
We're gonna get demonetized now. There you go. Good one, Rob.
Exactly. We just got canceled. People are like, "This is a family show. You got canceled."
Yeah. Everyone just canceled their super chats. Anyways, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I mean, there's a sense of, something like this, being, he made the mistake, and people were like, "Oh, okay, bench him, bring back Novak," or at least some people did. Some people are like, nah, it doesn't matter what happens, just stick with John McCarthy. But Greg said, people are allowed to make mistakes on his team. He said it in the presser. What matters is what happens after that mistake, if they learn from that mistake. And John McCarthy apparently did. He had a very, very solid game, and he marshaled this defense along with Zonka, who came in and performed very, very admirably in Maya Yoshida's absence. I did get to speak to Zonka as well in the mix zone. The mix zone is fun, Ananda, because players come by and you just get to shout questions at them. The press conferences are a little bit more civilized, and they pass us the microphone. But in the mix zone, we literally get to act like animals and shout questions at the players and stuff like that. So anyway, we did get to talk to Zonka. He said that same thing, two very good goalkeepers, because I asked him what, if anything, how that is affecting the back line, and he said that it obviously is a little bit more secure when you have one guy that's like the main guy, and you already know that that's the main guy. But he said that both these goalkeepers are very capable. They're both good goalkeepers, and whoever it is on the day, that hopefully that he can contribute along with them to helping this team win. But although it wasn't a win, it was a very well picked up draw, a draw that, again, they should be proud of. And like the banner here says, a result to build on for next leg. Ananda, when that final whistle sounded, were you relieved, upset that there wasn't a win, or were you just okay with it?
I was positive, right? I'm going to be consistent. I was positive about the result. Like I said, we didn't give up the away goal, and we give ourselves a shot. That's all we want. We give ourselves a shot for the next leg, and you take your chances, right? And then you just place your bets and see what happens.
Well, let's see what happens next week on Tuesday when the Galaxy travel to Monterrey. But yes, this is a result that is very positive, something that psychologically they can build on. It's a shutout against a high-quality opponent. It was a long time coming, 9 matches. But more importantly, no mistakes or self-inflicted wounds from the Galaxy, which we already spoke about. Very clean performance. It was a full 90-minute performance where they, got down to the nitty-gritty of this match, and they were able to withstand this very, very tough Tigres team. Again, it sets them up because just one goal, a 1-1, gets them through. A 2-2, even better. Of course, what you don't want is to get blanked and or get smoked 3-0. There is that feeling that Tigres just wanted to go ahead and get that 0-0 here in Los Angeles so they can then go home and get the win. We do have a couple of super chats here. Comments. 96 El Primo says, G's up, Primos. Raquinho on Tam. Let's go. Raquinho actually told me through his agent that he's commanding DP money now. He, I don't know. He's acting brand new, Primo. I'm gonna have to talk to him anyway. And G Cam says, do it. Yeah.
I think he wanted us to do it at the same time, so I tried to do
okay.
it.
1, 2, 3. Do it. Yeah, see, it's not syncing up. We're trying.
It's hard. Yeah. It's like this whole, I'm in the completely other side of the world. G-Cam, we'll do it live for you. How about that?
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. G-Cam says,
really quick, guys,
tacos and mashed potatoes.
No, real quick though, we really, really appreciate the super chats. But of course, guys, if you do want to help someone out, definitely help out Mike Gray. So we know that everyone's a little tight these days. So go ahead and help out Mike Gray, man. But we really, really appreciate you guys for sure.
Papa says tariffs. I mean, he says Mexican. It's tough. Yeah, tariffs are getting everybody, man.
Oh man, hard knock life. But
yeah, but anyway, to put a bow on this Tigres match, because we do have a quick RSL preview, guys, to bring you guys. The moment of the match, me and Anand have already brought up, is that John McCarthy point blank save. Happened twice, actually. Once in the first half, once in the second half. He did really, really well to bounce back. And he is one of your defending the badge nominees, along with Amiro Garces, Zanka, and Isaiah Parente. And now Ananda will be announcing your defending the badge winner.
After a tally of 2 votes, your defending the badge winner is Mr. John McCarthy. Because we didn't put a pull out, guys. So, we just had to make the executive decision. Sometimes, CEO's got to be the CEO. You just got to make the executive call. But yeah, guys, John McCarthy, not sure if there's much debate there. I think the clean sheet, the shutout, the commanding performance, the great double save, the great bounce back performance, the mentality, I don't think any of us could debate that one. So Big J-Mac, always be throwing. Shout out, Papa. You are the winner of defending the badge.
Always be throwing. Adam says, any analysis on the referee, Gonzalez? Yeah, like we mentioned, Adam. I don't think he was up for it. I mean, from the very beginning, the gamesmanship was just out of control, and he should have been more firm with stemming his authority on stuff like flopping and on corner kicks or time wasting from Guzman. decisions were met with 4 or 5 Tigres players around him, and he just wasn't up to commanding them to go ahead and respect his authority. So that's two. I mentioned that's 2 bad games in a row for refereeing performances against the Galaxy. It is what it is. It's always been known that this Galaxy team is not only fighting against those 11 on the field, but that refereeing staff as well. We have another one from Adam. When is it a must-win game in the season, in your opinion? Ooh, I
Can I
mean,
go
well,
first?
yeah, go ahead.
So a must-win game in the season is if we lose, we don't make the playoffs. That's literally by definition now of the must-win game. I'm serious, Rob. Like that's just how it be, right? That's just how it is in MLS. It's like you get yourselves in a position. Greg Vanny always talks about the 10-game stretch. You get yourself a hot streak. You're flying high into the playoffs, and you just want to make the playoffs. That's really it, guys. And it's just a byproduct. I think someone mentioned in the chat earlier. It's crazy that we get a 1-1 draw, but then we win the leg, and it's a weird rule, or we win the tie, but it's a weird rule. Same thing in MLS. The rules are that 18 teams make the playoffs, or right? So, or at least the play-in, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, the play-in. Yeah,
more than half of the league. So, again, weird rule, and it doesn't that's a whole nother tangent. That's a whole nother conversation. Talks about the competitiveness of the league and blah blah blah. But it is what it is. So that's must win for me, man. When it literally is must win.
No, I think it's a lot sooner than that. And I'm going to answer Adam's question, but he also says who will be the captain in Yoshida's absence, and he also was talking about the referee on Saturday. And to be honest, Adam, I haven't checked out Edgar Nags' refereeing scouting report for this match yet, which is which is always really, really good to check out pre-match. He does one for every match where he checks out the referees and what they've performed like against the Galaxy. Who will be the captain in Yoshida's absence? I think it'll probably be J Mac, because that's who Yoshida gave the armband to.
Okay.
But and then when is it a must-win match? I really do think that if they lose that against RSL, and then they've just been getting those lifts from the Champions Cup, and to get eliminated from the Champions Cup would be devastating. So I think the very next game after that is like, okay, this is panic stations. They got to get this win. So they drop RSL, they drop Tigres and get eliminated, and so they have that bad feeling of getting eliminated, also having no wins in the league yet. So then that very next match is like pivotal. I think you start to see, I mean, a couple of the players have already talked about, the situation, and not being frustrated, but aware of what's happening. And so you get a couple more losses under your belt. It starts to get even more frustrating for these players, and they start wondering, like, is it going to break? Is it going to happen? I think they're due, but we spoke about the quicksand, and don't let yourselves get into that quicksand.
Yeah, I mean, the good news is I don't think the players are thinking that. I think it's just chatter just amongst media, amongst fans, amongst everyone else, right? So I think that's the most important thing, is that this is not getting into the players' heads. I don't think this idea of must win, but I will say this, and I think maybe you might be down this line of thinking based on what you said preseason, which is, I hope that maybe look, let's put it this way. Not I hope. I would sacrifice less points in the league, or just kind of staying afloat, for a very deep into the finals Concacaf Champions Cup run, so we have a chance to win a trophy, right? And that's what you said in the beginning of the season, that you don't think we're going to win MLS Cup, but you think we're going to win a trophy in a cup, right? Whether it's the one-off or whether it's this cup. And what I'm thinking is, as long as there's no like casualties in terms of injury, I think a deep cup run and a trophy, Rob, I think that, along with the return of Ricky Puig, I think that's what's going to push us in the last 10 games of the season. Just my putting my premonition out there, but that's what I'm thinking. So I'm hoping that's what happens. That's that trajectory. That's my Brujo take. That's what I'm hoping. But again, that's gonna sacrifice a little bit in the league, which I know a lot of fans probably aren't happy to hear. But if we get a trophy out of it, and that propels us to a strong finish in the league, I'll take it. I'll bite your hand off for it.
Hey, we have a Ricky Pooch type performance right now happening from the homie Adam in chat right now, who is dropping another super
Bro,
chat.
appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no, that's mad love. Do
That's
you
a
guys
6-1
know
for the 6 MLS Cup. There we go.
Oh, snaps.
Number 6.
Yo, Commissioner Raquinho is giving you that trophy right now. Number 6. Do you guys know if they extended Andy's contract in the offseason? We do know it is a contract year. There's nothing been reported on an extension. But of course, that's something that you start to wonder about in light of where the team is at the moment. Of course, you do see Peter Vermees getting sacked across the way, and so I'm not saying this is going to happen, but you do start getting that inkling. If it could happen there, it could happen anywhere really. I don't think Greg Vanny is anywhere close. So I mean, there's just been too many factors that haven't been given, that the team hasn't been given a fair shot, losing a bunch of players, all the injuries, everything, like new players coming in. So I don't think he's anywhere close. But anyway, it'll be interesting to see how this one develops, Adam. We're going to start keeping our ear to the ground. We're going to start, when we have opportunities to speak to, leadership like Will Kuntz, who we mentioned, and it's his birthday. We'll certainly ask him about stuff like this. So anyway.
Yeah.
Standing invitation, Will. You know where to find us. Anyway, getting to this RSL match. Man, neither of these teams is doing particularly well, but it marks the 61st meeting across all competitions between these two teams, the Galaxy and RSL. The Galaxy lead the series 25-20-15. They hold a 21-17-13 record in league play against RSL. And in 2 meetings last year between these two teams, the Galaxy held an unbeaten record of 2-0-0, 3 goals for, 2 against. The last time they played, that Gabriel Peck game-winning goal sealed the victory 1-0. And then notably, the Galaxy is unbeaten in the last 5 matches dating back to October 1st, 2022 against RSL. In their last regular season match, played at America First Field before the Gabriel Peck game-winning goal game, the Galaxy earned a 3-2 come from behind win over RSL on May 31st, 2023, and in 2 league matches played against RSL at America First Field, dating back to that same date, they hold an unbeaten record. So they've had a lot of success at America First Field, and let's face it, this RSL team isn't in a great moment either. So it could be here. It could be here, guys. Adam, man, you are popping off, man, and we love it. Thank you so much. Adam with another super chat says, which of the 5 team winless will be the first to win a game? I really think it's going to be the Galaxy this weekend. I really do.
I hope so. I was just when I saw
I just gave you my prediction first, so
I was just
that.
I mean, I was just researching all that as Adam was doing that, and just to give you guys, well, Rob, I'm going to give you, because we want to make sure our true super chatters are getting a good educated answer. I was just pulling up right now all the opponents of the winless teams. Montreal is away to Columbus, so that's an L. Toronto is away to Inter Miami, so that's defo an L. Houston Dynamo is at home to LAFC. I would love that to be a W, so I would say Houston, but I think that's just my blinders getting in the way.
I know Houston has changed a lot, but last year they got a tie and a win in the later half of the season against LAFC, so they know how to play against that team.
Yeah, and then Sporting KC, of course, the new manager bounce. Perhaps they could get that first win at home against St. Louis, so we'll see.
Which is why I said the Galaxy is due. They're about to drop.
Yeah,
they're about to drop that W.
And Salt Lake is a good team to take advantage, I think. So there you go.
Well, let's look at this this standings, this table here. After 6 matches, the Galaxy holds a 0-4-2 record. As we mentioned earlier, 5 goals for, 12 against, on 2 points, 0.33 points per game, and -7 goal difference, and in 14th place. And is this the Is this the current graphic here? Not are they
Match day 6, right? Match
are
day
they not
6.
are they? Oh, I'm sorry, I had that wrong. I had 14th place. They're actually in 13th place on 2 points. So
Yep.
apologies to you, chat, and to you, listeners. Gotta
Oh,
keep myself
and
honest.
hello to TM from Belgium. Wow, welcome.
What up, Belgium in the house? We love to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Internationally known on the microphone.
That's right.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it, man.
Big up to Zanka and JP, right, from the Belgian league. Actually,
Schneid.
well, sorry, did Zanka play for the Belgian league before? Danish league, but before that, could be
Yeah,
wrong. Maybe it was
he played for Anderlecht. Remember?
That's right. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So RSL, after 6 matches played, they have 2 wins and 4 losses, a 2-4-0 record, good enough for 11th place on 6 points, -6 goal differential, 1 point per game. Shut out in their last 2 matches. 2-0 loss to Minnesota United on the road was the last match, and before that, they dropped a 1-0 decision at home to Dallas. They have they have been going through it, not as much as the Galaxy because they have a couple wins, but they haven't been playing their best soccer either. The Galaxy, oh, look, Ananda, it's your favorite power rankings and predictions and stuff like that. So the Galaxy dropped 2 spots now to number 26 in the MLS power rankings. Ananda,
Who cares? Move on. Yeah, who cares? Move on. Team news, please.
Reflection.
Give me that team news, Rob. Give me that team news.
Yeah, we have a bunch of updates here actually on the team news.
Cool.
Of course, Ricky Puig is your long-term absence. Mauricio Cuevas, we found out from Greg Vanny that he is a week to 10 days away from being back. He's chomping at the bit to come back. But yeah, no, vamos for sure.
Animo, Mauricio. We need you.
Yeah, vámonos. They are targeting Houston for his return. And speaking of Houston for returns, as Lucas Sanabria was walking by, Josh, the Podfather, stopped him to ask him how he was feeling, and he gave us a thumbs up, a positive smile. And I asked him in Spanish as he was walking away, "Cuánto tiempo, Lucas? Cuánto tiempo?" And he said about a week. So, and he kind of confirmed that for us beforehand, and then Greg Vanny said that he is already in training there, but he's avoiding contact. Of course, he was kind of bemused about the fact that they asked him to try not to get any contact or fall. The first thing he did was fall, but they said that he could be ready for Tuesday against Tigres, which would be great to have that option, but most likely will be ready for Houston. Marco Reus looks like he will be out for a little while longer. He has that knee injury, and the Podfather reports that he is undergoing several treatments at the moment. So I don't expect to be looking at Marco Reus against Tigres. And then Maya Yoshida, we did let you guys know it was a hamstring injury. It did not seem for Greg Vanny anyway that it was a large injury, a big injury, and then he confirmed with us today in that press conference. But he did say that Maya is expected to miss 10 to 14 days. They need to reevaluate him, as he gets into this injury a little bit more. But it does seem at the moment a very minor hamstring strain, and he said that Maya's already feeling better. And for RSL, there's really not a lot to report on. Just Zach McMath is out. Of course, the goalkeeper played in 25 matches last year and has 1 clean sheet this year. Ananda, what are you seeing out of the starting lineup here for the Galaxy?
Yeah, let me pull it up. So on the left side, there's their last league match. That was, of course, the loss at home against Orlando. You see the starting lineup there on the screen, and I'll try to narrate as best as possible for the audio listeners. But I think we're not going to go for a too dissimilar lineup. I do have a feeling, though, I think Tucker will get another nod. I called it before the Orlando game. I thought he had his performances have been building over time, Rob, and he's getting comfortable, especially in that sort of left 8 position, running past Diego, right, especially if he's going to play in that left-hand side with Diego, he's a guy that runs past the ball, and he's a guy that can get you a goal, right? And this would be really appropriate, Rob, for him to start, because if you remember, his breakthrough for me last year was RSL away. It was that 1-0 win. He played 45 minutes in the first half, and he did a great job. And he was tasked with shutting out Diego Luna. I could see that again this matchup, because Diego Luna is going to be one of their danger men, as we're going to talk about later. So I don't see too much of a dissimilar lineup. Of course, Imai Yoshida. I guess we'll see. We'll see if he recovers. Maybe Greg's gonna err on the side of caution and probably start Garces, who, by the way, we didn't talk about him much in the recap, but on the reaction. But man, he had a hell of a game. I thought his recoveries were really good. He had about 3 or 4 recoveries that were really game or goal saving tackles in terms of preventing really dangerous situations in the box. I thought he was massive. Don't mind him if he's the starting right center back.
Ananda, are you checking out the homies in chat right now? You're not a rich guy.
I'm just letting them wild out. So I'm just letting them have fun in the chat.
You're not a rich Galaxy fan.
Love you guys.
I got one. You're not a rich Galaxy fan if you don't have enough GAM in your wallet. So, guys, nice. we love what you're doing out there. Keep it up. In terms of what RSL brings to the table, man, you're right. Diego Luna is that guy for them. I mean, he's their star. He's their focal point. But really, the guys on either side of him, should they start next to him, Marchek and Diego Gonçalves, that kind of forward line and wingers, those 3 gentlemen right there for RSL are going to be the key for them in this match. If those 3 players can hook up and be dangerous and pose the Galaxy problems, then RSL has a good chance to go ahead and hand the Galaxy another loss in this one. So if those 3 can combine well, then it's going to be a long afternoon for the Galaxy. Of course, Brandon Heda is a handful as well. So if the Galaxy again can control this midfield, I think they have a good shot. Ananda, what do you have in terms of stats that might give us a clue into who we're going to pick for predictions, even though I already kind of picked mine and I did go first.
Even though you're going to go first. I just want to get that in. So
I already went.
What you did? What would you say? You said they're gonna win. They're gonna get that
first win. I said they're due. Remember? Because
that's right. But what does that mean? Does that mean a point, or does that mean all 3 points? Anyways, chat.
No.
As we're bickering,
I already said the win.
As we're bickering live on a Thursday evening, go ahead and put your predictions on there, because we will get to that in a second, and I will start
get those predictions in, guys.
But if you want a little bit more of an educated sort of thought about how this game might go, I think, honestly, Rob, I'm going to start with this. And you look at the goals for and goals against for both teams. We pulled up the the MLS standings earlier. RSL and LA Galaxy are 2 very similar teams with similar goals against and goals for outputs, right? RSL, 5 goals for, 11 goals against. LA Galaxy, 5 goals for, 12 goals against. So I think from that alone, I don't even need to take you to the underlying stats to say these are 2 teams that are in a similar place right now. They've struggled to create enough offense, at least to score the goals, right? Especially Galaxy earlier in the season. Performances have picked up over time. But on the defensive side, these are 2 not very good defensive teams, and you're going to see it there on the screen. So if you go all the way to the right-hand side, probably the 2 worst defensive teams in the league, Rob, in terms of XG conceded and underlying stats. RSL number 2 in terms of most expected goals conceded, and Galaxy number 3. So it'll be interesting to see, do the Galaxy now, from the Galaxy side, do they take that performance at home in Concacaf Champions, bring that tactical discipline over to the league? TBD, right? It's going to be really interesting to see how we react to that away at RSL. Interestingly, Rob, these are 2 teams that are comfortable in possession. They are both top 10 in the league in possession. So it'll be interesting again to see how that plays out. But, will RSL be the ones, because they're at home? Will they be the dominant team in possession? Will they come out the blocks? Will the Galaxy set up in a deep 4-4-2 block? right? So those little things, it'll be interesting to see how the game states sort of flow throughout the game. Expected goals, again, offensively, these are two teams, especially the Galaxy, that have struggled. If you look at the underlying stats, XG for RSL, middle of the pack there at 16, 16th in the league at 8.4. The Galaxy are even worse, Rob. I believe they've only created an XG of 6 goals. So in that case, they have underperformed, but honestly, only slightly. But if you think on the RSL case, their XG numbers tell you that they should have scored 8 goals this year, but they've only scored 5. So that means they're not finishing their chances, right? They're missing a lot of really big chances, and they're severely underperforming. So, we'll see on that, but I think that's super interesting as well. So yeah, anything jump out to you, man, in those stats, or pretty, or does it give you more confidence? Yeah.
No. A couple comments on things you said. First, TM says ourselves also used to playing at altitude. True, the Galaxy have 2 games at altitude coming up. RSL and then Monterrey. We spoke to John McCarthy about if that's a factor, and he very cheekily said, "I don't run, so I don't feel it." And we loved it. But anyway, no, the Diego did acknowledge that. He did acknowledge that there's a couple players on the team that have heavy legs, and they have to manage this period wisely. And then you mentioned, wondering how this game was going to play out, or how it might look. And Greg let us know in the press conference today that don't expect the Galaxy to be a team that wins 4-1, 4-2, 3-1, 3-0 anymore, or at least not right now at right. present, where with the pieces they have and the pieces they have coming back and stuff like that. Expect this team to get 1-0s, 2-1s. The goals aren't flowing all the way, and so Greg would like them to be a little bit more defensively sound, which is the sense of the frustration against Orlando City, because they, of course, were winning that match. But anyway, just my 2 cents on that. We already let you know about the danger men here for RSL, Gonzalez, Luna, and Marchik. Another one to watch for me anyway is when this guy is on. He is on Pablo Ruiz. The center attacking midfielder was injured last year, was out the majority of the year, but now he's back and he's starting to make his way back into the side. He has the most shots on target per match for RSL, but he's only started 2 times. So if he starts in this one, look for him to be a spark plug. And if he comes off the bench and this game is tight, I look for him to unsettle a Galaxy team, because he has that ability. Now we've come to receipt time, Ananda. For the Galaxy to win this match, they have to ... And chat, you guys can start dropping this one in there as well. For the Galaxy to win this match, they have to ... Since I did my prediction already and I went first, go ahead and hit this one up first.
Yeah, there's a lot of things I could say here, but I think I'm going to say this, man. I think for the Galaxy to win, they need to bring that defensive discipline that they just performed on the Concacaf Champions Cup stage to the league. And I think away at RSL, especially with altitude, I think that's going to be really important. To your point about Greg saying that we're not a team anymore that's going to win 3-1, 4-2, 5-3, 5-2, right? So for that to be the case and for the Galaxy to be successful, we have to not pick up balls around the back of the net, out of our own back of the net, right? We can't do that. We can't concede goals. So that defensive discipline has to be there. Point 1B is probably going to be, we can't shoot ourselves in the foot, but that's a given, right? So I think for us to give us a good chance in this game, that we just got to be disciplined. We've got to be disciplined. We've got to limit the chances that RSL gets. We've got to limit the goals that they score. And, I'll get into my prediction in just a little bit as soon as we give the stage to chat and to see what they think. But I think that's it, man. We've got to be defensively disciplined first, and then we'll have a shot at winning this game. Maybe, maybe pulling a blinder, or maybe doing a smash and grab and getting out there with 3 points.
Yeah, I already kind of talked about what they need to do. I mean, my theme against a good creative team in Tigres last pod was limiting Bruneta and Aquino, and they did, and they were successful. They pulled off the draw. And again, you have some creative players there with RSL. I would say that's probably their most talented part of the field there with that trio. So Isaiah Parente again is going to have a tough task. Edwin Cerrillo is going to have a tall task. Again, if they carry the midfield, I think they're going to be just fine. I would like to see for the Galaxy to win this match. They also have to have Diego be successful and being able to have the liberty to create rather than be so focused on the defensive end, which I think naturally becomes possible because no shade to RSL, but they're not Tigres. So I think that frees Diego up a little bit more to create.
One more little insight thing. I did watch the highlights of the RSL's last match against Minnesota, Rob, and the way Minnesota hurt RSL was on the break. They hit a couple balls over the top behind the lines, and forgot who it was, maybe Oliowese from Minnesota. He was the guy that broke free. So again, do we set up in a deep 4-4-2 block and have JP be that release valve over the top, hit him in space, bam, like counterattack goal, right? So that to me is going to be interesting tactically to see how Greg approaches that. I could see that happening if he's watching the game tape of RSL and how they've been conceding goals lately.
All righty, it is time to bring you the betting odds, brought to you by Ananda and Dr. Raquinho.
Please bet responsibly. All right, guys. So the odds here, may the odds forever be in your favor, I guess. RSL is at a plus 110. That's 48%. Galaxy, not too bad, Rob. Plus 250, 29% win probability here. Yeah, of course, they're going to give the home team, but 29%, that's not bad. And I think, again, based off of the last game that we saw in Champions Cup, I think there is reason for optimism for this game. But like I said, we just have to be defensively disciplined, Papa.
We had a couple of comments in the chat from GCam. He said score first. Comment says score on Raimondo. Maybe Ant says they need to score goals. That's it. Just score 3 goals and we're fine. Raul says feed Ramirez and finish shots. I don't know if throwing a pig head at Mark Zagallo is part of the answer.
Okay, Figo.
I hope not. GCam follows that up with if we get scored on first, we are flooped. I haven't heard of I don't know what flooped is, but okay.
I think that's a G-rated version of what he wanted to say. That's what I'm guessing.
Okay. Flooped.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, now it's time. I mean, I already gave you my prediction, which was the Galaxy win. They're due.
What's the score line? Give me a score line. What do you think? More high scoring or low scoring?
No, low scoring. I mean, you heard Greg say it. I mean, he knows where he sees this team every day. He knows what they're capable of.
Yeah.
He's telling you straight up, this is not a team that's going to go out there and score a lot, but this is a team that's going to go out there and keep the scores low, and maybe pull off a 1-0, 2-1, and so yeah, I'm gonna call it 2-1. Again, they're due. They could have pulled off a 1-0 at home last week, but for a series of bad decisions from the referee Freeman, and then the blunder by John McCarthy. So that would have been a 1-0. No reason to believe it's going to be that much different this time, especially against an RSL team that's not flying. So I'm calling a 2-1 or a 1-0.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I agree with GCam, which is this is the same score line, predicting the same score line as last year away at RSL, a 1-0 win, smash and grab. We're going to be defensively sound. We're not going to make any mistakes. J-Mac is going to have another good game. We are going to, you can't stop Diego Luna, but we're going to limit him enough to where he's not a huge impact on the game, and that's super important. That was probably another thing I would have said for the Galaxy to win. They need to limit Diego Luna and just contain him as best as possible, put 2 or 3 guys around him in those dangerous areas, because he is a tricky customer, especially in that box. And if we do that and we hit JP or Christian Ramirez gets not his consecutive goal, but that would be 4 and 5 matches or 5 and 6, can't remember.
That'd be 5 and 6.
That's the formula for success, man. 1-0 smash and grab, first 3 points of the season. Vamos Galaxy.
I always just remember that one video. Anyway, so comment says 1-1, giving us a 1-1. He heard you mention Diego Luna, and he said the dude from Andor. Fair point. Yes, the dude from Rudo and Cursi. Yes, for sure. And not with Mexico. Big Arc. with the super chat. Says, fingers crossed they will play my track at the digs on the 12th for the Galaxian anniversary. Rays and chats. Pray for my dream to come true. Man, I hope that happens. We're going to go nutty for you. I'm going to be like, I know him. That's my boy. Anyway, man, I hope that really happens
Gracias,
for
man.
you, Big Arc. Thank you for the super chat. Watch out for that on the 12th at the digs. Hopefully it happens, man. And shout out to the Galaxians for their anniversary coming up. Of course, everyone should know, if they don't know, that the Galaxians were the very first supporter group out there. So the originals right there. GCam with another super chat says, great show, guys. Gracias a ti, papa. And gracias a chat por estar aquí and giving us that good love, that good energy to carry on and go through. Just to let you guys know, one of you guys did get Ananda's location correct. I'm not going to let you guys know who it is, but one of you guys did pinpoint the location. Ananda, anything else to add before we get on out of here? And love all you MFers as well. Papa, thank you guys so much for being here.
That was gonna be my last word to chat, man. Is just I was gonna pull up that comment and love all you MFers. Yeah, that's all I got to say. You guys are on fire today. I'm just, again, really happy to be back with you guys. It's always fun in the chat, especially you guys were just vibing and going off in a little tangents. And Rob, we haven't said this in a while, but I got to just keep repeating it. This is what this is about, right? This is not about us. You can listen to two knuckleheads talk about LA Galaxy soccer all you want, but this is not about us. This is about the community. This is about people like TM. Well, finding Belgium, our community all the way out from Belgium, right? Everyone in this community is super welcoming, and this is all what's about. And speaking of community, guys, part of being community also is when someone needs help or someone is in need, we try to help them as best as possible. So shout out Mike Gray. Again, guys, the link is in the description. Is in the description of this video. I put in the chat earlier. I don't know how to pin comments on this thing, so sorry about that, but it's in the description of this video. So guys, go ahead and hit Mike Gray up. He needs our help, and man, he's done so much for this community. So if you guys can handle it or can do it, he'd really appreciate your help. So that's all I got to say, man.
Yeah, and we're gonna wrap it up here. Thank you to chat. You guys have been lovely as usual. Super fun, super entertaining, and yeah, we just can't thank you guys enough for doing what you're doing and having us just be in your rotation. We love you guys for it. But next time we'll be with you is on Monday, April 7th. We'll bring you our Galaxy versus RSL / Tigres second leg preview, that RSL reaction, and then a week from today on Thursday, April 10th, we'll bring you our Galaxy versus Tigres reaction and Galaxy versus Houston preview for the match happening on Saturday, April 12th. Guys, thank you so much for being with us. Arriba, Hawthorne, California, LBC in the house. Man, it is a beautiful community, and thank you guys for being here. Ananda, anything else to say?
Only one thing to say, Papa. Dale.
All right, LA Strong, vamos campeones, and G.